Okay, hi. My Chromebook that I was broadcasting off just pooped out, so that's unfortunate. I am now working on getting you all added again, so we'll see how that goes. Oh, goodness. Hello. Hi.
Hi.
Okay. Yes, it totally did. Okay, so I'm going to email you, Rowdabush, a link to this new broadcast, and then we'll just have to post both of them when the time comes. And you know what? We're going to get better at this every day.
Oh, I just figured out how to share my screen. Okay.
Yeah, yes, exactly. And then
I
I
can
can
switch back and forth.
exactly. I can constantly be
Oh.
changing the you know, the format. So we can go from
Mm-hmm.
my screen to your screen really, really easily. So I'm trying to get it to load so that I can send you the link to our new live stream, but everything's going really slow. So Sarah, link for students. Okay, here it is. Sent. Oh my gosh. Hey Danielle, want to hear something funny? One of the free white couches we saw on Craigslist was from Sophie. Our Sophie, like I emailed her and she was like, "This is Sophie, haha." No, like your friend. Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of gross. Yeah. Yeah, and it's been outside for 3 years. Okay. I know, out of context, it was like funny. I couldn't think of her name. Sophie dot yeah. Sophie dot yes. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Do we have any viewers out there yet?
I haven't sent
Oh.
it. So annoying.
Okay, well, we have 3 viewers.
Oh, hello.
It
How
might
did
be
y'all
all
get
us,
here so
though.
fast? Oh, that's true.
But I already sent it out and put it on my slideshow.
We are so sorry.
I can't believe your students check email.
It's because I forced them to. You forced yours to use email the entire time, though, too.
What?
Well, that's a great shout out. Shout out to Paul Ding students for checking your email. Proud of you all.
Yeah, no, they just don't. I mean, I'm sorry if you guys do, but if you do, you don't really reply to me.
Yeah, it was mostly just really impressive yesterday when I sent out that form, and then, like, within
Very
2 minutes, there
impressive.
were 12 people.
That's insane.
Okay. Does it sound better now that I have AirPods on
I
to
think
you?
so.
Okay, we're
Should
gonna
we start
start
again?
again in 2 minutes. Let's start in 2 minutes.
Okay.
Hi, Gabe. I don't understand why the doodles from yesterday didn't save on that thing.
Yeah, it's kind of a bummer.
It is super a bummer. Okay. We could start something. You spelt it wrong. What did I spell wrong? Oh, it wasn't me. Um, I like watching their chat. We're gonna start again. If you were watching before, we're really sorry. That sucks. But we're gonna try again. Where we left off was trying to move from the section on, like we had just read,
Section
section
4.
4, which was economy of the North, and we were going to move that and synthesize our learning in graphic format on our map. So we're gonna go ahead and do that.
Okay, Rowdabush, do you want me to pull
Yeah,
up
I
the
know.
reading and tell you what to draw?
Yeah.
Okay, I can do that.
Okay.
So, as a refresher, we just read about, what was it? Industry of the North?
Economy.
Economy of the North, right, which is basically industry. So, I'm pulling up TCI on my computer. So I think the first thing that would be really important to draw would be a factory.
If you were watching yesterday, for some reason, the doodles from yesterday didn't save, but we had on here from yesterday, for economy, oh no, for geography, we had some rivers and some forests and some chopping down of forest and some plains, I think. I
Hey,
don't know what a
Rowdabush,
factory looks like.
I think there's a
Yeah,
way to also include your face in this. I guess it's not necessary.
it's fine. I'm not that concerned. I mostly look like what I would look like if I was putting on mascara, which is just not cute. Nobody wants to watch your mouth hanging open while you doodle.
Well said.
Okay, there's my factory.
That is a beautiful factory. Okay,
Ta-da!
so I'm opening up
Thank you.
section
That's
4
all
on
the
my
smog because the air quality was really bad.
Of course, it
That's
was
true.
terrible. Again,
Really
to
bad.
the
People would get sick.
students listening, when I'm reviewing like this text on TCI, I'm always going to click the star icon on top of the screen just to make sure I get all the main points. But then I'll remember if like I missed something else that's important. But anyway, so a big thing, people shifted from making things by hand and to doing things by machines. So I don't really know how I would draw a machine. But I feel like that would be an important thing to draw. What do you think, Radabush?
What is? I
I mean,
can
that's kind of
draw.
included in
What
factories.
is the loom? What was
Yeah, a
the
loom would be
loom thing?
good.
What
A
wasn't that
textile,
have
a
a? Didn't
textile
that have a
mill,
name?
a textile mill.
Textile mill.
Yeah, that would be a good thing to draw. Another good thing to draw would be a wheel thing, like the like water powered. What are those called?
Oh yeah. I don't know how to draw this. This is intense. Should we try to draw this lady sitting at a loom?
Well, why don't you draw like a spool of thread and then write textile mill next to it?
I'm about to draw a shirt
Oh, that's
like
superior. Yeah, perfect.
this.
Yeah.
Merp.
Wow.
This, that is. I feel like you would sell that shirt at Zara.
No.
Rude.
No.
Somebody would buy it.
Okay, so we got textile mill, we got factories. Let's do like water power and steam power. What was the water power thing called, everybody? What was it called? What?
I don't remember.
Okay, Lowell
This was
visited
like,
England. To power these devices, they use fast-moving streams to turn a wheel. I guess there's no special name. So draw like a stream with a wheel, like just wiggly
okay.
stream, and then like almost like a pirate steering wheel.
So like that, and then these
Gorgeous.
little stokes.
Right, exactly. Because they would catch the water, and that would make it spin, and that spinning would create energy to power the machine.
Oh, wow. So that's a lot. Okay, I can do it.
It's like
So we
a
got a little,
primitive
I
turbine.
can totally do this.
That's
And
perfect. That's
then,
so good.
thank you. And then the
Yeah.
wheel's gonna go like this. Meow, 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 meow. Ta-da! Really proud of that.
Stunning. Okay, what else?
Water wheel. Oh, it's called a water
Oh,
wheel.
steam power. Steam power. So just like steam. Because so steam, they would make steam do the exact same thing, like spin a wheel and create a turbine, and that made it so they could open factories that were not next to streams or rivers.
I'm just gonna write steam powered because I mean we could do steam
You,
powered train
yeah.
or a
No, like
steam
steam powered
powered
machine.
boat.
Well, that too, but they would use the steam to power
All of those
machines
things
in the
though.
same way the water wheel. Oh, yeah. Another thing, I think if I were drawing on my map, I would probably just write efficiency, like in a really pretty way, because I feel like everything that's happening here just made things more efficient.
There's my steam power engines.
Sailor is asking, is this the map thing? Yes.
Yes.
Sailor,
This
this
is what
is,
you were turning in after all of the reading.
yeah.
And yesterday we did a whole section on geography in the north, and geography in the south, and we did economy of the south yesterday. So I don't know why our doodles from yesterday didn't save, but they didn't save. So this is where we're at. Ta-da! Okay. Efficiency.
Hey, when we do the reading, you want me to pull it up on my screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I will get prepared for that.
There. Efficiency. Done. Now let's move
Beautiful.
on. Next section.
Excellent. Okay, so we're going to go to section 5. If you guys aren't already, I'm opening, I guess I'll show you on my screen again. Share my screen. Hello, screen. Okay, got to add it. I don't want audio. None audio on my screen. Great. Boom. Oh, wait, I said boom, but now you can see. Hello? Yep. Okay, great. So we go to Clever. We go to Big Purple TCI. Click it. What lesson are we in again? 19. You're right. It's my dream to always be Dora the Explorer. So here we go. It's taking 17 years to load. Love to see it. Oh boy. Okay. So while it loads, Rodimus, do you have any jokes?
What?
Never mind. Okay. Okay, teach now. Your screen, again, is not going to look like this. That's teacher screen. So ignore that. Okay, scroll down to lesson 19. And Sarah, are you going to read the next section?
Yeah.
Great.
All right. We're going to do transportation in the north.
Wait, mine is not up yet. It is loading.
Oh.
Okay, here we go. Section 5. Transportation
Yeah.
in the north. Okay.
Okay. Factory owners needed fast, inexpensive ways to. I'm sorry, I'm gonna stop. That was really annoying. But I've been on this live feed for a minute. I recommend that if you are just trying to listen and learn from us listening and reading without having your screen on the textbook at the same time, you need to do that right now and open Clever and log in to be reading at the same time as me. Otherwise, you're probably not actually learning or paying attention. Um, so you have about 10 seconds to figure out where you are, and log in so that you are reading and actually learning and not just trying to invite yourself over to Gabe's house.
Oh my gosh. I sent an email to my students and didn't include the link. Sorry, I just realized. Okay. So embarrassing.
But you also need to put the textbook back up.
It's back up.
Okay. Okay. Transportation in the North. Factory owners needed fast, inexpensive ways to deliver their goods to distant customers, and South Carolina Congressman John C. Calhoun had a solution. Let us bind the Republic together, he said, with a perfect system of roads and canals. Cool. So now I have one thing that I'm going to highlight right off the bat.
Oh, I like
Roads
the way
and
you're using the
canals.
highlighting. Nice.
Calhoun called such projects internal improvements. Building better roads. In the early 1800s, most American roads were rutted bone shakers. Don't know what that means. Actually, I do know what that means. What that means is
No,
they're made out
that
of
totally makes sense.
dirt. Yeah,
That like you would be
they're
like,
made out of dirt, and
"Blah."
it was like really bumpy. So not like the gravel or asphalt that is now. In 1806, Congress funded the construction of a national road across the Appalachian Mountains. The purpose of this highway was to connect the new western states with the east. With its smooth gravel surface, the national roadway was a joy to travel. As popular as the national road was, in 1816, President James Monroe vetoed a bill that would have given states money to build more roads. Monroe later argued that spending federal money for a state's internal improvements was unconstitutional. Fast ships and canals. Even with better roads, river travel was typically still faster and easier than travel by land. However, moving upstream against a river's current was hard work. So inventors in both the United States and Europe experimented with boats powered by steam engines to solve this problem. In 1807, Robert Fulton showed that steamboats were practical by racing the steamboat Clermont upstream on New York's Hudson River. Said Fulton, I overtook many boats and parted with them as if they had been at anchor. A farmer watching the strange craft from the shore shouted, The devil is coming up the river in a blazing sawmill. By the 1820s, smoke-belching steamboats were chugging up and down major rivers and across the Great Lakes. Of course, rivers weren't always located where people needed them. In 1817, the state of New York hired engineers and workers to build a 363-mile canal from the Hudson River to Lake Erie. The Erie Canal provided the first all-water link between farms on the Central Plains and East Coast cities. It was so successful that other states built canals as well. Overseas traders also needed faster ways to travel. Sailing ships sometimes took so long to cross the Pacific Ocean that the goods they carried spoiled. In the 1840s, new sleek clipper ships cut ocean travel time and increased northern trade with foreign ports around the world. So kind of what they mean by that is we didn't have we didn't have a really effective road system, and the roads that did exist were really old and hard to navigate. And so in order to ship something from like New York or Massachusetts to California, the fastest way to do that was to actually go all the way around South America. Like you had to go around the entire continent to then go to California. And so it was really, really difficult to ship goods until we built canals that were able to like cut through actual land, and like the Panama Canal, like cut that time in half. But then there were other areas that were obviously not so extreme, but those canals allowed boats to travel much, much quicker to get goods that otherwise would not be able to get there in time before they went bad, like food. Railway. The future of transportation, however, lay not on water but on rails. Perhaps inspired by the success of steamboats, inventors developed steam-powered locomotives. These trains traveled faster than steamboats and can go wherever tracks could be laid, even across mountains. So many railroad companies were laying tracks that by the 1840s, railroads were one of the North's biggest businesses. By 1860, more than 20,000 miles of rail linked northern factories to cities hundreds of miles away. So if we're looking at this map, this becomes really important later when we start talking about the Civil War. If you look at these miles of railroad, the North has significantly denser railroad tracks than the South does, especially over here. Or rail systems over here, and so that means transportation is much more connected in the North than it is in the South. So from here, you can do your check from understanding, which this is the part that's graded. The emergence of railroad routes signaled the future of transportation. Which statement is false about the locomotive industry in the North? A, railroads emerged to become the biggest business within the North. B, the first trains were faster than steamboats since they were powered with gasoline. C, more than 20,000 miles of track had been laid in the North by 1860. And D, most railroads in the North did not cross into the South. And there's a video. That's fun. I'm not going to play it over here. That would be annoying. You only have to answer this question. You do not have to do those ones down there. So just answer this one. Yay! So now we can go to the map again. Wrong thing. So a lot of the things that we have already talked about have been written. So we have some steam-powered engines down here, and I'm just going to add a few things like some roads.
Do you want me to tell you what to add?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so we're not sharing my screen anymore. Okay, some things that you highlighted were, canals, right?
I don't know how to draw a canal though. What does that look like?
Just like a blue line, a stream, and then write the word canal, perhaps. And I like that you're drawing a road. They also built better roads.
Okay, so we got roads and we have train tracks. Sorry, I kind of just went ahead.
Oh yeah, perfect. Roads, train tracks, canals. That's pretty much it. I would maybe draw like a big dollar sign or a stack of money next to the railroads because it said that so many railroad companies were laying tracks that by the 1840s, railroads were one of the North's biggest businesses.
That's a canal. Yeah. That's my best attempt.
That's a great canal.
Thank you.
Yes.
Ta-da! Transportation.
So good.
Next section.
Okay. I will pull that up on my screen. So, hold on. I've been having a couple glitchy things happening with my screencast situation, but I think we got it. Okay, so now it's
Drew, I'm not at home. I'm at my parents' house. Joe isn't here.
Oh, Joe.
Joe's in slow.
All right, so those of you tuning in. Sorry, what?
Sorry, we were just talking about Joe.
Joe. Okay, lesson 19 in the textbook and, section 6, right? Transportation in the South. And this is our last section of the day, right, Radabush?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So, transportation in the South. I like the way, Radabush, that you use the highlighter tool to kind of keep track of things that you wanted to add to your map. I think that was a pretty key move. Okay, I'm trying to make sure that we can see everything on your screen. Okay, great. I will read this. Transportation in the South. Most of the rail lines in the United States were in the North, as we just heard. In the South, people and goods continued to move on rivers, where the slow current and broad channels of southern rivers made water travel easy and relatively cheap. So basically, they had a lot more rivers, so they had less reason to build extensive railroad tracks. So they put their crops on boats. Cotton was the most important southern product shipped by water. Oh, again, I like how Raudabush highlighted. So again, highlighter. Rivers. I'm gonna highlight that too. All right. On plantation docks, so there were docks that were up against plantations, which are giant farms, right? Enslaved people loaded cotton bales directly onto steam-powered riverboats. Okay, that's a big thing. The riverboats then traveled hundreds of miles downstream to such port cities as Savannah, Georgia, or Mobile, Alabama. West of the Appalachians, which is that mountain range we always talk about, most cotton moved down the Mississippi River, the largest of all the southern waterways. The cotton boom, which means it became really, really popular, right, made New Orleans the port at the mouth of Mississippi, one of the South's few big cities. Once the cotton reached the sea, it was loaded onto sailing ships headed for ports in England or the north. So I'm also going to highlight sailing ships because that's part of the transportation chain in the South. Oh my gosh, this is a really short one. Awesome. Because river travel was the South's main form of transportation. All right, again, we're just reiterating that. Most southern towns and cities spring up along waterways. That makes sense because people don't want to travel a lot of distance for the transportation. With little need for roads or canals to connect these settlements, Southerners opposed bills in Congress. So they were anti-bills in Congress that would use government money, federal funds, for internal improvements. Such projects, they believed, would benefit the North more than the South. That totally makes sense. And I'm going to kind of store that in my brain as like, that could be a source of, future conflicts. Because again, we know the Civil War is going to happen soon. Some railroads were built in the South, including lines that helped Southern farmers ship their products to the North. So I'm going to highlight railroads because I'm going to draw a smaller railroad maybe on my south part of my map. Most Southerners were proud of the fact that the iron rails for many of the area's railroads came from Virginia's Treadgear Iron Works. Oh yeah, we learned about that yesterday. That's pretty cool. Still, in 1860, the South had only 10,000 miles of rail compared with over 2,000 miles 10,000 miles compared with over 20,000 miles in the North. I just got a good idea, Raudabush. It'd be super cool if we drew like a railroad, a small one in the South that like turned into a huge railroad in the North. Just saying, to symbolically represent the differential in railroad accumulation. Anywho, here's our check for understanding, which I totally forgot about for section 5 today. Again, do I want you to do these notes? No, only do this. Just to make sure for your own brain that you got it, and also this is graded. How did Southerners feel about federal legislation, which is a fancy word for laws, that would finance improvements to the transportation infrastructure in America? Oh my gosh, so that's a really confusing way to ask, how did Southerners feel about laws that would give money to making more roads? And oh my gosh, I feel so excited because I know the answer to this question, but I'm not going to give it away. Anyway, so make your choice, check your answer, and then reset. Okay, great. Raudabush, you want to share your screen?
They're mostly just very concerned about your TikTok fame.
Oh,
but yes.
What about it?
Hold on. They want to know if it's true that you are TikTok famous.
That I'm what?
TikTok famous.
Oh, one time I got 100 likes on a video, so yeah, I'm very famous. In other words, no. So there you go.
Okay.
Any more questions from my fans? Raudabush.
Here we go.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And let me change the setup so that everyone can see both. Okay. So.
Wow.
Perfect. Oh, I love that. I love what you're doing. Beautiful. So, she's symbolically representing the fact that there's a lot of railroads in the North, but not as many in the South. Do you guys remember why? I'm going to do a Dora the Explorer pause. Good job, you're right. It's because the South had a lot of rivers, okay? And they used the rivers instead of roads and railway. whereas the North needed to create roads and railroads to travel. Nice. Okay. What else did I highlight? Rivers. So Radabush, you're drawing rivers. Nice. I think we already drew cotton on our mouth in this map. Map in the South words. Radabush, steam powered riverboats.
I'm working on it. I got I don't know how to draw a tugboat, so I just drew a
Just,
black
a
square with
boat,
some steam.
like a boat with two little smokestacks coming out.
I got a little black rectangle and some steam, so we're gonna go with that.
That's pretty good. Okay. Oh, and then you know what you should draw on the outside by New Orleans? Is a sailing ship, because it said that once cotton reached the sea, it was loaded onto sailing ships headed for ports in England or the North.
RX
nice
means
little
railroad,
sailboat.
by the way.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So no, you didn't?
I thought it
Like Monopoly?
I don't play Monopoly.
Doesn't RX? No, R means railroad. My bad. That's embarrassing.
It's okay.
I'm banned from playing Monopoly.
I could kind of see that.
Get too angry.
Yeah. Okay, what else should
Here's
you
my
draw?
sailboat.
Oh, you got your sailboat. Perfect.
Thank you.
I think that's actually it. I think we could be done.
Great.
Phenomenal.
Okay.
Should we do a recap of what we've done in the last 2 days?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think I will screencast now to kind of walk us through what we've done. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. You stopped talking. Are you still there?
I just realized I don't have audio when I share my screen. So let me try something else.
Oh.
Here we go. Okay, now I have audio. Okay, so I was saying, I was pulling up to section 1 and I was asking, like, how thorough of a review should we do right now? Like, you know?
Oh, I mean, you could just skip ahead to the summary where it reviews stuff.
Oh, we love that. Perfect. But we haven't finished the whole thing yet. Oh, but it's
just
nice
summarize
and
the ones that we
itemized.
did.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. So yeah, what you should have drawn on your map at this point are some symbols representing geography in the north and the south. So in the north, there were a lot of harbors, which encouraged shipbuilding, fishing, and commerce. The land and climate supported the harvesting of timber of such crops as corn and wheat. So you could draw that. I would also draw some mountains maybe in the north. In the south, the climate was hot and humid, okay, which it doesn't say there, but that's a reminder. So I would draw that. We've done economy and we've done transportation. So the economy of the north. And again, this is not really supposed to be like you guys following me right now. This is just a recap of what Radabush and I have done today and yesterday. So these are the things you should have on your map. So the economy of the north was the south was all about agriculture. So they didn't really develop industry in the way that the north did. So only a few white Southerners. Oh wait, what am I saying? I'm sorry, guys. So Radabush help. Enslavement of people was a huge part of the economy in the South because of the agriculture. And then meanwhile, in the North, they're inventing things and creating factories and inventions and things like that, which is something that we talked about today. Something that Radabush and I talked about yesterday is that when you look at the North and South, it's kind of easy to say, oh yeah, the South were the bad guys because they enslaved people, and the North were all the good guys because they did not enslave people. But you have to remember that the North got basically all of their food and cotton from the South, and therefore supported the enslavement of people. So just don't get caught in that dichotomy. And finally, we also 17 seconds ago just learned about transportation in the North and South. So in the North, they had a ton of railroads. They had 20,000 miles of track, whereas the South had minimal railroads. They had about 10,000 miles of track, because the South had a lot of natural streams and rivers that they would travel on through boat and eventually steamboat. So there you go. That's all we've covered so far. Tomorrow we're going to cover society in the South, society in the North, and a summary of everything again. So yeah, that's all I have to
Ta-da!
say, I think.
I mean, this took us a little while, mostly because we got cut off and we were easily distracted. But we also like intentionally wanted to give levels and options. So what we're doing on this live stream is like the A option. If you did less than that, then it would definitely only take you like a half hour. But we want to get like, if we only give you a half hour worth of work every day, we want to make sure that the students who really are missing school and want to be challenged and want to be doing school in their free time can do school. If that is super overwhelming to you, and you are wanting to do well and like pass the class, but have way too many other things going on, you can still pass the class without doing a ridiculous amount of social studies textbook homework. So pick what works for you, and just know that on here we're doing all of the stuff.
Yeah, you can do less.
Ta-da. You can do less.
But you know how to get there, hopefully, students, to show you how to get an A, how to get a B or C. Okay, wow.
Also, just know that if you're being ridiculous in the comments, that you will get blocked.
Oh.
Ta-da. But I love you all, and I like seeing you all on here, and it's really funny.
Kayla said that I'm better than Charlie, but that must have been a long time ago. Or not me, I don't know. Because I'm not the next Charlie, I do not know how to dance. Anyway.
You could try.
No.
Okay, we're done.
Well, that was our second live stream of our lives. We're getting better every time. Super famous.
At some point,
17 viewers right now. Dreams are coming true.
Famous.
All right, guys.
Okay, bye, guys.
I don't know how to end this. Here we go. End stream. End.